Thank you for joining me for this training video on the Go Zone ATB 2.0. My name is Ron Myers. I'm one of the founders of Go Zone Trading. This video will be your main user's guide on how to use the Go Zone ATB. This is a very long video, as it should be, given everything we're going to cover. However, every section is timestamped for ease of use. So let's get into it. Before we get started, please take a moment and pause this video and read our disclosure. This video is for educational purposes only. Please be aware that past performances do not guarantee future results. First of all, I'm not going to be covering the installation process of custom indicators or expert advisors. You can go to our website, gozonetrading.com, and watch the installation videos there in our Trading Academy. Here we have the table of contents. Feel free to jump around to the sections you would like to review. Section 1, Chart Setup. If you want your charts to look like the charts that you see on the Go Zone Academy, then what you want to do is open a new chart, right-click it, go to Properties, and then change the colors. First off, let's go to Common, change from the bar charts to candlesticks. Back to colors, and we're going to change background to white, foreground to black, bar up, black, bar down, black, full candle or screen, bear candle, red, line graph, black. We'll leave the grid alone at slate gray. This a little bigger, and there we go. Now next, we want to apply all of the indicators. We're going to go click on the indicator list, go to Custom. Let's put on the Go Zone ATB. This is going to come up. Go to Common, make sure both of those are clicked. Inputs. Here's where if you want to set alerts, screen alerts, email alerts, push alerts, this is where you do that. Then you just hit OK. And there you have it. All right, let's add the other indicators. Custom. Go to the countdown timer. This is going to put the timer in the right-hand corner here. If you want to do a specific time like London time, Australia, Hong Kong, this is where you set that up here. I'm just going to set this up to do the minutes. So 9 is kind of small. Make this the 16. And I want my countdown timer to be blue. And hit OK. And I'll change it from 1 hour to 5 minutes. And there you go. Okay, our next step is to apply the lock levels. So we're going to go back up to our indicator list. Click on that. We're going to go to Custom. We're going to find our lock levels and click on that. I want to make sure we go to Common first, make sure both of those boxes are ticked. We go to Inputs. And here are all the lock levels. All these colors can be customizable. These are the default settings. All the opens, the daily, weekly, and monthly opens are green. All the highs are medium blue. All of the lows are magenta. All of the closes are red. Once those are all set, you just click OK. And there the lock levels appear. Without even looking at the label, I know this is a daily close. I know this is a weekly close. Scroll this down. I know this is a weekly low, and I know this is the daily open. So it's very easy to learn this color coding. Even though the Go Zone ATB is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting, especially when you're day trading, it's always good to know what's going on in the market. So having these indicators on your charts at all times will help you tremendously in your trading. Section 2, Default Template. Once your default template is set up, all of your indicators will be on any chart you open, which means one less thing to think about before you start trading. Okay, after you get your chart exactly how you want it, you want to right-click the middle of your screen, go to Template, Save Template, then look for your default template and hit Save. You want to replace it? Yes, we do. Replace. And now when you pull up a new chart, all your indicators are already on it. Section 3, the ATB 2.0 setup. The setup. The first thing you want to do is to pull up the chart of the market you want to trade. Next, you need to turn on the auto trading on your MT4 platform. Then you want to go down to your Expert Advisor section in the Navigator tab and apply the Go Zone ATB to your chart. You can do this one of two ways. Either double-click on the Go Zone ATB or left-click the ATB and hold and drag it to your chart. Then you want to go to Common tab and make sure that the DLL imports is ticked. Now we move to the Input tab and input our trading plan for this market so that the ATB can execute it without fear, doubt, or hesitation. The first step in setting up our trading plan is risk management. Risk percentage per trade. This is where we'll input the risk we are willing to take on this trade. The industry recommends we never risk more than 2% of our trading account on any given trade. People do not put enough thought into this part of their trading, and it is so important. Remember, you're in this for the long haul. If you risk too much, then you'll be trading scared and you will not stick to your well thought out trading plan. By taking on too much risk, it will only take a couple of bad trading sessions for you to blow out your account and be sitting on the sidelines, or at the very least, put you in a deep hole in which you'll have to try to climb out very slowly. You'll be amazed at how fast your account will grow just by making consistent small gains every day. Keeping the gains you make is just as important as having winning trades. Fixed lot size. If you're an experienced trader and you know the lot size you're comfortable trading, you can enter that lot size here. This will override the previous risk percentage field. Stop loss must exceed minimum. This is where you enter your hard stop, which means if the market goes against you in your trade by this many points, the ATB will close out your trade for a loss. Must exceed minimum. This is referring to minimum stop your broker allows for the market you are trading. For instance, on the Japan market, my broker has a minimum stop of 40 points. If I tried to use the ATB with a 20-point stop, the ATB would place the order, then my broker would stop me out for a loss of 20 points because it doesn't fit their parameters. This is why you paper trade, so that you can find out what all these parameters are on the different markets that you're going to be trading without risking real capital. Now, if you have not entered anything in the fixed lot size field, then the ATB will take your risk percentage and your stop and calculate the proper lot size to be used on this trade. Trading time parameters. If you want to trade a market but you're not going to be around, this is not a problem. The ATB has got you covered. Input that information here. First, change the setting from off to on, then set the time you want the ATB to turn on and off. The times you set are according to your chart, meaning if you want to trade the FTSE, which opens at 8 a.m. UK time, and want the ATB to run for 4 hours, and 8 a.m. UK time is 10 a.m. on your chart, then you would set the ATB to turn on at 10 a.m. and shut off at 1400 hours. Everyone's data feed around the world is different. You need to figure out the time on your charts. This may seem a bit confusing at first, but once you get used to the time difference, it's really not a big deal. Auto close trades. When this is turned on, the ATB will close any open trades at whatever time you set. Why would you want to do this? Well, if a broker does not let you trade during a lunch hour or days in, then you can set the ATB to close out all your trades a few minutes before the broker restricts your trading, even if you're still in a go zone. If you trade longer time frames and not concerned about lunch hours or days in trading, but you do not want to hold positions over the weekends, you have that option to turn this on to close out all your trades only on Friday at whatever time you choose. Entry settings. This is where you instruct the ATB to place your trades. Buffer pips. For the ATB to enter into a trade, it's done on confirmation, meaning the first candle in the go zone is a setup candle. The next candle is a confirmation candle. The confirmation candle must trade higher or lower than the setup candle, depending on the direction of the market. Here is where you can set up how much higher or lower the market must move past the setup candle before the ATB enters you into the trade. On slow-moving markets, this could be set at 0. On faster-moving markets, it could be set 1 to 10 pips. This is up to you, the market, and the time frame you are trading. Exit settings. This is how you're going to exit your trades. Exit percentage on end of the go zone. When price action starts to trade outside the go zone, you want to exit the trade. Depending on your strategy, this number could be 100% if you want to close the total position, or as you see here, the default setting is 75%, since the 75-25 strategy is so very popular. We will get into that strategy a little later. If you have a smaller account, you may have no choice but exit 100%, since the remaining 25% may not meet your broker's minimum lot size. Partial take profit points. This is your partial take profit target. This number should be a reasonable target for your market to move on a typical day. One of the keys to success is to getting into a trade risk-free as soon as possible. Once you have achieved this target, then the ATB will close out a percentage of your trade at this time and immediately move your stop to where you entered the market, meaning you'll be in a risk-free trade. There's no way you could lose on this trade at that point. Again, be aware of your broker's minimum stop. Usually, if you have a reasonable take profit target, the minimum stop does not come into the equation. The ATB can only operate within the guidelines of your broker. Partial take profit percentage. This is the percent of the trade you want to close once you have hit your target. Usually traders close out 50% of their trade, but again, this is entirely up to you. Leaving the take profit target and or the percentage field at 0 will result in the ATB doing nothing. So if you do not want to take profit until price action comes out of the go zone, you certainly do not have to. Full and final take profit. Here's where you would put in a target that if reached, you would be happy to exit 100% of your trade. Why would you consider doing this? Well, once you know your market, you'll see a pattern of movement on most days. For example, let's say that at the open of the Japan market, it moves between 225 and 250 points on a normal day, then retraces down about 100 points, and by that time you're out of the go zone. If you set your final take profit between that 225 and 250 mark on the average move, then there's a good chance you're going to get out of the market towards the top of that trend. Again, this is entirely up to you. Breakout levels. Breakout levels are consistently moving levels that are established by the Go Zone boxes. If you're in a winning trade that has been going for a while and price action comes out of the Go Zone, then we recommend not entering another position going in that same direction until the price action trades above the last Go Zone. This is where the breakout lines are established. Many times you'll see the market retrace, come out of the Go Zone, then a few minutes later to start a new Go Zone in that same direction, only for it to go up to the previous high, aka the breakout lines, and then retrace again. The market is not going to go in the same direction forever. The breakout lines help you avoid losing trades because of false starts or a rangy market. We'll get into this a little bit more later. Buffer pips for the breakout lines. Depending on the market and the time frame and your risk tolerance level is how you determine how much the market must break through these lines before it constitutes a continuing trend, therefore a new opportunity for another entry. Again, the speed of the market you're trading and the time frame will determine what the ideal buffer would be. Maximum loss gain settings. Maximum loss. This is where you set the maximum you are willing to lose in a single day of trading. This is a safety feature that will assure you that you will not blow out your account if you're using the ATB unattended. For example, if you're trading a market in the middle of the night and you set your maximum loss at 4%, and then your account draws down by 4% on closed trades, the ATB will shut off and not risk any additional funds. Maximum gains. Why would anyone use this feature? Some people trade with very specific daily targets. This will turn the ATB off if you hit your goals for that day. Now, after all fields have been filled in, your trading plan is ready to go. Simply hit OK and you're all set. So at this point, you can walk away from the ATB and you know the worst case scenario will be a 4% loss. And on the upside, it could be a 10% gain. Section 4, the interactive buttons. If you are a day trader that is actually sitting at your computer using the ATB as a trading assistant, then we have some features that can help you squeeze more out of your trade by using the interactive buttons. The interactive buttons are these 4 buttons that give you additional control over the ATB while in a trade. Let's examine the benefits of each one. Partial take profit. You can press this button one time during a trade. It will execute your first take profit setting in your trading plan. For instance, if you have a first take profit target of 60 points programmed into your trading plan, once that target is hit, then the ATB will automatically close out 50% of your trade and automatically move your stop to break even. Now let's say the market is stalling at a key level and you're at 58 points and you're concerned it may not break through and hit your 60-point target. If you hit the partial take profit button, at this time the ATB will close out 50% of your trade at the 58 points instead of the 60 points you have instructed it to in your trading plan. So if the market does bounce off that key level, the trend changes, then you have captured more profit. If the market does break through and continues on that trend, then you've only left a couple of points on the table. By using this interactive button, the ATB knows that you're at your computer and involved in the trade, so it will not automatically move your stop to break even. Now let me repeat that. You must manually move your stop if you use this button. The entry button. This button allows you to enter a trade manually. Once in the trade, the ATB will take over and manage the trade following your trading plan. When would you use this button? If you're in the Go Zone and the ATB misses an entry, this would be a good time to use this button. I can hear some of you say, why would the ATB miss an entry? There are things that are beyond our control, like your internet connection, or how fast or how busy your broker is. The ATB will try to enter the trade 30 times in rapid succession. And if your broker has too many orders to fill or doesn't fill your order by the end of those 30 attempts, then the ATB will stop trying. This does not happen too often, but it does occur. Another time to use this button is if you're in a strong trend and you're in a risk-free trade, and you may want to put another position on to take advantage of a strong market. Now be aware, you cannot use this entry button on the first candle, since all initial entries are done on confirmation. Move to break even button. This button is to let you know as soon as the market moves enough to hit your first take profit target, the ATB will execute that part of your trade and immediately move your stop to your entry, thus making your trade risk-free with no chance of losing on this trade. Some day traders want complete control over their stop, so simply switch it to the off position. When should you switch the move to break even feature off? If you're sitting at your computer and manually moving your stop as the market moves in your direction to lock in profits, you find that you've manually moved your stop past your entry but have not hit your first take profit target yet, then you want to switch the move to break even to the off position. If you leave it on, when you hit your target, the ATB will move your stop back down to your entry. The pause button. This button simply pauses the ATB. When should you use this button? Let's say the first candle in the Go Zone is unusually large for the market you're trading, and you're confident the market is going to retrace because of the big spike. Simply press the pause button and the ATB will not put you into the trade even if the second candle confirms your entry. When the market finishes its pullback and you are still in the Go Zone, then simply take the pause button off and the next candle will be your new setup candle and the ATB will enter upon confirmation. Now be aware, if you apply the pause button in a Go Zone and do not take it off, when the market moves out of the Go Zone, the pause button will shut off automatically. Then when a new Go Zone starts, it'll follow your trading plan as instructed. The other thing you must be aware of is when you apply the pause button, all of your breakout lines will disappear. If you're an active day trader, you will find that these interactive buttons will be very useful. Section 5, removing the ATB. There are a couple of ways to remove the ATB once you're done trading. The first way is to right-click the middle of your chart, scroll down and find Expert Advisors, and click Remove. The second way is to right-click the middle of your chart, go to Templates, and click Default. And the ATB is gone along with any of the trade markers. Section 6, when to use the ATB. Trading bots have gotten a bad rap over the years, and in many cases it was well deserved. Many are designed based on flawed strategies. By the same token, many people think you should be able to turn them on and let them run 24/7, and by the end of the week they'll be rich. The ATB was designed to catch trends in the market, so it's much more effective if you target the most likely time of the day that the market is most active. Usually at the open of a cash market is a great time to set the ATB to catch a trend. If you're trading the Forex market that trades 24 hours a day, there are still times that you can find where the market moves on a consistent basis. Just because you can trade 24 hours a day doesn't mean you should. Again, this is why you paper trade and focus on one or two markets when you first start. Become proficient in these markets, then expand to new ones as you gain experience. Many traders only trade one market and do quite well. Section 7, when not to use the ATB. Even though the ATB is a fantastic tool, nothing works well in a rangy market. I would be cautious to trade a market after a huge day. Meaning, if you had a huge day with the ATB on a market, the following day will probably be a little sketchy. It's very rare that you'll get two great markets in a row. Usually after a huge move, it takes traders time to find their feet at this new level. There's a lot of speculation and uncertainty, therefore not a lot of confidence in the market, which translates into a rangy market. Here's a great example. This is the Hong Kong CFD market. As the spread changed, the Go Zone starts and was strong all day long. When the Go Zone finally stopped, there was about 340 points to be had. If you're actively trading this all day, this would have been a monster day. Now we fast forward to the very next day, and at the same open time, you can see it's a much different picture. After a huge day, you should have made your goal for at least 2, maybe 3 days, or even more. So it's okay to take a day off, or at least reduce your risk down from 2% to 1%. Section 8, breakout lines and buffer pips. Breakout lines are the lines that are established at the end of a Go Zone and are a marker for the ATB not to enter another signal until price action has broken through that line. Buffer pips is how much the market must move through that line before you consider that a valid breakthrough. Why are these lines important to your trading? Usually when a market retraces enough to come out of a Go Zone, it means we've hit a support or resistance level. Depending on how strong the level is, the market may make several attempts to break through with no success. If not for the breakout lines, you could stack up several losing trades. Breakout lines will not eliminate all losing trades from your trading. Losing trades are part of trading. The key is to eliminate as many as you possibly can and try to keep the losers as small as you can. Now let's see what kind of impact breakout lines have during a consolidation period or a rangy market. Okay, in this example of a consolidation period, we're going to use the DAX on a 5-minute time frame. We start this example here, we would have started out with a winning trade. We're using a 1-point buffer on our entries. The next signal would not have confirmed, so we would not have been in the trade, marked by this X. The next trade would have confirmed, it would have been a losing trade. The next trade would have confirmed and would have been a losing trade as well. The following trade after this would have confirmed and it would have been a small winning trade of a couple of points. The following trade would have confirmed another losing trade. The next short signal would have confirmed and end up being a losing trade as well. The next signal confirmed, losing trade. The next signal, it was a non-signal, did not confirm. The following signal, again, confirmed and a losing trade. So, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 opportunities in this consolidation period, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losers and 2 no trades. So that's 6 losers out of 10 during this consolidation period. Now, let's look at what would happen if we use the breakout lines. Okay, now using the breakout lines, we would have ended up with the same winner here, breakout line established, a non-trade here, so the breakout line for going long would be established. We wouldn't be in this trade or the next. This next trade, we would have been at a break even. So it wasn't a loser, but we didn't win anything. The next trade would have been a loser. The next trade would have been a non-trade because remember our breakout line is down here to go short. After it came out of that go zone, the breakout line would automatically move to this position. The next trade would be a loser. The next trade, non-trade. The last trade would be a non-trade as well. So we eliminated, in the first scenario, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losing trades. Using the breakout line, we had 1, 2 losing trades. So again, we eliminated 4 additional losing trades. This is why the breakout lines are so important. Section 9, the 75-25 strategy. This strategy is one of our favorite ways to trade. The 75-25 strategy is simply when the market trades out of the go zone, the ATB will close out 75% of your trade and leaves the last 25% on until we have a confirmed opposing go zone. Let me show you why we like this strategy so much. Okay, in this example, this is the German market on a 5-minute time frame. Here we have the open. This was a tough trading day with only 4 valid trades. The other trades didn't trigger, or the breakout lines would have prevented us from entering these trades. So the first trade, getting in and out at 100%, we would have lost 8 points. The second trade, we would have lost 12 points. The third trade, we would have made 72 points. The fourth trade, we would have made 80 points. For a total of 156 points minus the 20 points, we would have ended up with 136 points. Still not a bad day. Now, let's look at the same trading day, but using the 75-25 strategy. On this first trade, our 75-25 strategy, we would have lost 6 points. On the second trade, we would have lost 9 points, for a total of 15 points. On the third trade, we would have made 54 points instead of 72, and on the last one, 60 points instead of 80. So the total losses would have been 15 points. Our total gain is 104, so our net gain is 89 points. Now that sounds like it's worse, but let's go to the next step, the last part of our strategy. When we exit the last 25% of our trade, we exit on the start of an opposing go zone. So we entered here and it came down here, and at 25%, we would have gained another 66 points. Same here, if kept entered there, exited there, we would have ended up with approximately 59 points. Same scenario here, out here, additional 56 points, and here, out here, an additional 22.5 points. Instead of this being a 6-point loser, it ends up being a 60-point winner. Instead of this being a 9-point loser, this ends up being a 50-point winner. We made 72 points on this run, which is perfectly acceptable, but using the 75-25, we ended up making 110. That's substantially more. On the last trade, because we came out and that's when the new Go Zone started, we only made another 2.5 points more than if we would have gotten out at 100%. So the total using the 75-25 method would be 302.5 points. Using the 100% method, the total would have been 136 points. In summary, the difference between the two strategies is 166.5 points. This is why we love the 75-25 strategy. Section 10. The ATB do's and don'ts. My first do or tip is to make a template of every market you trade with the ATB. The first reason for doing this is you will not have to fill out your trading plan every time you want to trade that market. The second reason is you'll be able to figure out what the optimal settings should be much quicker during your paper trading phase. Remember, every time you change anything on your trade setup page, you need to resave the template. Paper trade until you start making consistent gains with these settings. My first don't is a big one, so make sure you review this section several times. Once the ATB is turned on, do not change anything on the chart. Many traders like to check other time frames once they're in a trade. However, if you do this on the chart that the ATB is working on, the ATB will think you have changed your setup and will place you into an additional trade that you didn't want. If you're one of those traders that must check other time frames, then open another chart in the same market and do whatever you want to on that chart. It will not affect the ATB. Don't number 2. If you're in a trade and you want to check something on the trade setup page, you would simply click the Expert Advisor smiley face. The setup page will appear. This next bit is very important, so listen closely. After you are done reviewing this page, you would click the X button at the top of the setup page to exit this screen. Do not, I repeat, do not press the OK button. If you do, you have just reset the ATB and it will act like you just turned it on and enter you into another trade on confirmation. It's an easy mistake to make. That's why I am taking so much time to make this point. My next tip is anytime you want to review this video or any other trading material, simply go to your countdown timer on your chart, click GoZoneTrading.com. Our website will open up in a new tab. Go to the Trading Academy and review any training material available. If you have any questions, you can go to the contact page and shoot us an email. The best tip I can give you is to paper trade 1 or 2 markets using the Go Zone ATB until you have more money in your demo account than when you started. When you can achieve this goal, then you'll be well and truly ready to trade with real money. Do not talk yourself into trading with real money until you do this. When you first start out with the Go Zone ATB, you'll make mistakes like anything else when you're first learning it. Once you get used to how everything works, then your mistakes will decrease dramatically. Use this time to become an expert with this tool. If you do this step, you'll be ahead of the pack since you will not be throwing away money on simple mistakes on your live account. I would like to thank you for joining me for this training video today, and if you have any questions, please email us at contact@gozonetrading.com. Thank you.